Hi everyone. Today's lecture is on cardiac markers. Development of atheromatous plaque and thrombus. The artery wall consists of three distinct layers: intima, media, and adventitia. Atherogenesis is the process of formation of plaque in the intima layer of the arteries. Atherosclerosis is developed progressively with inflammation, lipid deposition, and atherosclerotic plaque formation, which causes fixed coronary obstruction. Fixed coronary obstruction can develop into severe coronary obstruction and induce platelet aggregation, subsequently plaque disruption and thrombus formation. Development of atheromatous plaque and thrombus. Figure A shows the formation of a plaque, its progression, and endothelial dysfunction. The plaque core consists of oxidized cholesterol and cells including macrophages. The subsequent events are shown in the figures B and C. These are destabilization of the plaque, rupture of the plaque, intraplaque thrombosis, platelet activation, wide thrombus formation, occurrence of embolism. ECG would show ST depression, T wave inversion or normal. Figure D shows red thrombus formation and thrombotic occlusion. ATP balance in heart mitochondria. In the normoxic heart, the heart muscle utilizes fatty acids and glucose as energy sources. But the major contributor comes from fatty acid oxidation as oxygen supply is available. The ATP produced mainly utilized by contractile apparatus when compared to the ion pumps. In the ischemic heart, the heart muscle utilizes glucose as the major energy source via anaerobic oxidation due to hypoxic condition. The ATP produced mainly utilized by ion pumps and F1, F0 ATPase compared to contractile apparatus. During reperfusion, the heart muscle switch back to fatty acids as the energy source as oxygen supply resumes. The ATP produced mainly utilized by the ion pumps, and there is an increase of ATP utilization by contractile apparatus when compared to ischemic heart. The schematic diagram or the flow chart illustrates biochemical basis of ischemia to infarction. Ischemia occurs due to increased oxygen demand or decreased oxygen supply or both. Development of ischemia leads to stress, decreased mitochondrial metabolism, anaerobic glycolysis. Stress induces catecholamines activity, which leads to elevated free fatty acid and cyclic AMP. Elevated free fatty acid level causes membrane damage. Elevated cyclic AMP causes glycogenolysis. Decreased mitochondrial metabolism causes depletion of ATP and energy deficit, which in turn causes calcium ions entry and inhibition of ion pumps. Entry of calcium ions causes contraction. Inhibition of ion pumps causes cell swelling. Anaerobic glycolysis lead to accumulation of H+ due to formation of lactic acid. Increased H+ ions or decreased pH causes lysosomal activation and decreased glycolytic flow. Lysosomal activation causes proteolysis. Decreased glycolytic flow causes decreased ATP. All these conditions lead to cell death or necrosis and finally infarction. Schematics showing the degeneration of healthy cardiac muscle to necrotic death. Diagram A shows normal state with background levels of cellular leakage and degradation and the normal levels of production of messenger molecules. Diagram B shows reversible damage to the cells. There is an increase in the amount of some enzyme that may leak from the cells. The release of some cytosolic molecules and changes in the production of messenger molecules. Diagram C shows cell death with the loss of cytosolic protein such as messenger molecules. Acute myocardial infarction or AMI. Myocardial infarction defined as myocardial cell death due to prolonged ischemia. A rapid development of myocardial necrosis caused by prolonged ischemia, a critical imbalance between the oxygen supply and demand of the myocardium, resulting in an irreversible myocardial injury. After the onset of ischemia, histological cell death not immediate. The time period to develop histological cell death is 20 minutes or less. Complete necrosis of myocardial cells at risk requires at least 2 to 4 hours or longer, depends on presence of collateral circulation to the ischemic zone, persistence of intermittent coronary arterial occlusions, sensitivity of myocytes to ischemia, preconditioning, individual demand for oxygen and nutrients. Healing of infarction takes at least 5 to 6 weeks. ECG changes in ischemia, injury and cell death. When blood flow to the heart is decreased because of blocked coronary arteries, ischemia may occur. The degree of coronary blockage and the timeliness of treatment will determine whether ischemia will progress to injury and necrosis of cardiac tissue. Let us see the ECG changes in ischemic injury and infarction. In ischemia, the inverted T wave is caused by altered repolarization. In injury, ST segment elevation is sign of myocardial injury. In infarction, abnormal Q waves result from the absence of depolarization current from the death tissue. WHO criteria for the diagnosis of acute myocardial infarction, 2 out of 3 rule. First, ischemic symptoms, severe prolonged chest pain. Second, ECG changes consistent with ischemia. Third, elevation of cardiac biomarkers. The biochemical changes in acute myocardial infarction. The mechanism of release of myocardial markers. Ischemia to myocardial muscle with low oxygen supply, which causes anaerobic glycolysis. Anaerobic glycolysis leads to increased accumulation of lactate and decrease in pH. The decrease in pH activates lysosomal enzyme. The lysosomal enzyme causes disintegration of myocardial proteins, cell death and necrosis. The release of intracellular contents of biomarkers. At the same time, clinical manifestations appear and ECG changes occur. Classification of biomarkers. The biomarkers are classified into 5 categories. Antecedent biomarker identify the risk of developing an illness. Screening biomarkers screening for subclinical disease. Diagnostic biomarkers recognizing overt diseases. Staging biomarkers categorizing disease severity, prognostic biomarkers, predicting future disease course, type of molecules exploited as biomarkers, enzymes and their coenzymes or cofactors, structural tissue proteins, intermediates of metabolic pathways, messenger molecules. A change in concentration of the biomarker can be a signal that tissue is undergoing injury due to increased production as a corrective response, due to increased production to serve as a messenger, due to direct tissue damage. Characteristics of an ideal cardiac marker: high sensitivity, abundant in cardiac tissue; high specificity, absent from non-myocardial tissue, not detectable in blood from non-diseased subjects; release, rapid release for early diagnosis, long half-life in blood for late diagnosis; analytical, cost-effective, short turnaround time, precise and accurate; clinical, ability to influence therapy and so improve patient outcome validated by clinical studies. Pathologic classification of cardiac biomarkers. Stages of atherosclerosis. Plaque formation. The biomarkers are total cholesterol, LDL-HDL ratio, LDL particle size, Lp(a) levels, and homocysteine. Plaque instability and rupture. Biomarker used: matrix metalloproteinase 9, myeloperoxidase, C-reactive protein, ICAM, VCAM, ischemia modified albumin, and fibrinogen. Myocardial necrosis. The biomarkers used: myoglobin, cardiac troponin T, cardiac troponin I, creatine kinase, MB isoenzyme. Myocardial dysfunction. BNP, NT-proBNP. Schematic of the relation between the extent of myocardial necrosis, electrocardiographic markers, and cardiac enzymes CKMP and troponins. Troponins provide a more sensitive indicator of myocardial injury, with lower threshold indicating adverse prognostic outcome than for myocardial infarction. Timing of release of various biomarkers after acute myocardial infarction. The biomarkers are plotted showing the multiples of the cutoff for acute myocardial infarction over time. The dashed horizontal line shows the upper limit of normal. Upper limit of normal defined as the 99th percentile from normal reference population without myocardial necrosis. The coefficient of variation of the assay should be 10% or less. The earliest rising biomarkers are myoglobin and CK isoforms, the leftmost curve. CKMB dash curve rises to peak of 2 to 5 times the upper limit of normal and typically returns to normal range within 2 to 3 days after acute myocardial infarction. The cardiac specific troponin shows small elevation above the upper limit of normal in small infarctions, but rise to 20 to 50 times the upper limit of normal is the setting of large infarctions. The troponin levels may stay elevated above the upper limit of normal for 7 days or more after acute myocardial infarction. Muscle enzymes as cardiac markers. Aspartate aminotransferase or AST. Aspartate aminotransferase activity in the blood starts to increase about 12 hours after a myocardial infarction and reaches a peak at 36 hours. It usually reverts to normal level 60 hours after an acute myocardial infarction. Since 2000, aspartate aminotransferase ceased to be recommended as a test for acute myocardial infarction. Muscle enzyme as cardiac markers, lactate dehydrogenase or LDH. LDH is a tetramer composed of two different subunits M and H. 5 different isoenzymes are possible: M4, M3H, M2H2, MH3 and H4. And all 5 are present in different tissues in different relative amounts. The 5 different isoenzymes are resolved by electrophoresis, and determination of the LDH isoenzyme distribution by electrophoresis is a commonly performed clinical laboratory test. The predominant LDH isoenzyme in the liver and skeletal muscle is M4, LDH5, and the predominant cardiac enzyme is H4, the LDH1. Muscle enzyme as cardiac markers. The percentage distribution of isoenzyme of lactate dehydrogenase is given in this table. LD1 present in highest percentage in cardiac muscle, about 60%, and in RBC around 40%. LD2 present in higher percentage in cardiac muscle, erythrocyte and kidney, approximately 30% in each case. LD5 present in highest percentage in skeletal muscle and liver, approximately 76% and 94% respectively. Muscle enzyme as cardiac markers, lactate dehydrogenase. The LDH enzyme distribution in normal serum is characterized by the major band being MH3 or LDH2. When total LDH activities increase from muscle or liver disease, the LDH5 band becomes dominant. Increased LDH5 activity from myocardial infarction is characterized by predominance of the LDH1 band. The change from the dominance of LDH2 band in the normal serum to the dominance of LDH1 band is called LDH flip, and its occurrence is considered diagnostic for myocardial infarction. Muscle enzyme as cardiac markers. Creatine kinase. Creatine kinase transfer the high energy phosphate from creatine phosphate to ADP to form ATP. Creatine kinase is taken up into cardiomyocyte by a specific plasma membrane creatine transporter, where mitochondrial creatine kinase catalyzes the transfer of phosphoryl group from ATP to form phosphocreatinine. PCR acts as an energy buffer and transport molecule with a reverse reaction catalyzed by muscle CK or MMCK to liberate ATP at times of high energy demand. Muscle enzymes as cardiac markers, creatine kinase. The level of creatine kinase activity in the blood due to leakage from muscle tissues. CK activity in the blood is affected by muscle mass and muscle composition. CK activity in the blood of men is higher than that of women. CK is known to rise within 4 to 8 hours following an acute myocardial infarction and peaks at 24 hours. CK activity can be due to one of these enzymes, CK1 or CKBB, CK2 or CKMB, and CK3 or CKMM. Muscle enzyme as cardiac markers. The percentage distribution of isoenzyme of creatine kinase. CKMB present in highest percentage in the brain and GIT, 100% and 95% respectively. CKMB present in highest percentage in the cardiac muscle, approximately 22%. CKMM present in higher percentage in the skeletal muscle and cardiac muscle, 97% and 77% respectively. Measuring of CKMB activity is more sensitive method of detecting acute myocardial infarction, especially if there has been damage to the skeletal muscle. CKMB can be expressed as CKMB over total CK. If the ratio increases, it is more likely to be cardiac than skeletal muscle damage. Muscle enzyme as cardiac markers, electrophoretic distribution of LDH and CK isoenzyme. The LDH isoenzyme distribution in normal serum is characterized by the major band being MH3, that is LDH2. When total LDH activity is increased from muscle or liver disease, LDH5 becomes predominant. Myocardial infarction characterized by a predominance of the LDH1 band. The change from the dominance of LDH2 band in normal serum to dominance of the LDH1 band is called LDH flip, and its occurrence is considered diagnostic myocardial infarction. The ratio of CK-MB to CK-MM is different for each tissues. The skeletal muscle content of CK-MB less than 1% of the total CK activity, whereas myocardial content of CK-MB is about 25 to 50% of the total CK activity. Muscle enzyme as cardiac markers. The correspondence between CK and LDH isoenzyme pattern is illustrated in the figure. Sample 3 represents results for a control specimen to assure that the technique is working properly and that all bands present are detected. Sample 8 results are from a normal specimen. Sample 1 results are from an myocardial infarction patient. The specimen was collected at a time when the activity of both LDH and CK were elevated. Note the LDH flip and high relative activity of the MB isoenzyme. Sample 2 results are from an myocardial infarction patient who experienced chest pain only several hours previously. Total CK is significantly elevated with a high relative MB isoenzyme activity. Sample 4 results are from patient with liver disease. Although the LDH isoenzyme pattern is distinguishable from the muscle disease or injury, the absence of at least a trace of CK-MB isoenzyme is inconsistent with the muscle CPK isoenzyme distribution, as is the apparently normal total activity. Sample 5 results are from myocardial infarction patient. The specimen was collected about 2 days post myocardial infarction, so that CK has almost returned to normal activity and the LDH flip is definite. Sample 6 results are from an myocardial infarction patient with specimen collected about first day post myocardial infarction. CK activity is definitely elevated with a high relative MB isoenzyme activity and the LDH flip is evident. Sample 7 results are from an myocardial infarction patient with complication of heart failure and passive liver congestion, or the patient was involved in an accident as a consequence of the myocardial infarction and suffered a crushing muscle injury. Muscle proteins as cardiac markers. Myoglobin. Myoglobin is a heme protein found in skeletal muscle and cardiac muscle. Myoglobin typically rises 2 to 4 hours after onset of infarction, peaks at 6 to 12 hours, and return to normal within 24 to 36 hours. Myoglobin found in all muscle tissues. It lacks specificity for cardiac damage or injury. Serial sampling every 1 to 2 hours can increase the sensitivity and specificity. Troponin Tropomyosin complex. Tropomyosin consists of two long alpha helices that coil around each other, giving the molecule an extended conformation called a coiled coil structure. Each tropomyosin molecule is able to bind around 7 actin molecules of the thin filament. Troponin molecules consist of 3 different subunits called T, I, and C respectively. Troponin T binds to tropomyosin, while troponin I inhibits the interaction between actin and myosin, essential for contraction. Troponin C is able to bind to calcium reversibly. In the absence of calcium, the binding of troponin-tropomyosin complex to actin inhibits contraction. Muscle protein as cardiac markers. Troponin. The amino acid sequence of and therefore structures of both troponin T and troponin I in cardiac and skeletal muscle tissues are different. Specific immunoassays for cardiac troponin T, CTNT, and cardiac troponin I, CTNI developed. These assays become the biochemical gold standard for detecting myocardial necrosis. The measurement of CTNT and CTNI are specific. Cardiac damage is the only cause for any increase in cardiac troponin in the blood. Cardiac troponin measurements are also highly sensitive. Release of cardiac troponins in acute myocardial infarction. The majority of troponin is structurally bound in the contractile apparatus of the myofibril, but approximately 7% of troponin T and 3 to 5% of troponin I is free in the cytoplasm. After damage to the myocyte occurs, there is a biphasic rise in serum troponin that corresponds to the initial release free cytoplasmic troponin followed by the gradual dispersion of myofibril-bound troponin complex. Transmural necrosis of the myocardium requires at least 2 to 4 hours and may be even longer in the cases of preconditioning, collateral circulation, or intermittent coronary artery occlusion. Although troponin kinetics do not reliably permit the very early detection, initial 1 to 2 hours of myocardial necrosis, troponin can be detected approximately 2 to 4 hours after the onset of myocardial injury. Therefore, blood samples are recommended to be drawn both at presentation and 6 to 9 hours later to optimize both the clinical sensitivity of ruling in myocardial infarction and the specificity for ruling out myocardial infarction. Serum levels can remain elevated for up to 4 to 7 days for troponin I and 10 to 14 days for troponin T. Although the exact mechanism of troponin elimination is unknown, given its relatively large molecular size, troponin is believed to be cleared by the reticuloendothelial system. However, the recent evidence suggests that troponin T is fragmented into molecules small enough to be renally excreted, which may explain the higher prevalence of troponin T elevation in patients with renal failure. Troponin assay. ELISA used to detect antigen in a given sample. Different concentration of the troponin can be titrated. Appropriate primary antibody to be used for binding. For detection, enzyme conjugated anti-rapid or mouse need to be used as a secondary antibody. Substrate is used for the color development and measured at an appropriate wavelength. Diagnostic on myocardial infarction and troponin concentration level. In healthy adult, the level is 0.001 microgram per liter. In stable angina and the chronic heart failure, the level is 0.01 microgram per liter. In micromyocardial infarction and myocarditis and acute heart failure, the troponin level is 0.1 microgram per liter. In small myocardial infarction, myocarditis and pulmonary embolism, the level in the range of 1 microgram per liter. In medium-sized and severe myocarditis, the troponin level is 10 microgram per liter. In large MI, it goes up to 100 microgram per liter. Troponin sensitivity and specificity. Using conventional assays, the sensitivity of troponin T at the time of hospital admission ranges from 25% to 65% and increases to 59% to 90% at 2 to 6 hours after presentation. The sensitivity approaches 100% by 6 to 12 hours after admission. The sensitivity of troponin I upon admission is less than 45%, which improves to 69 to 82% when measured 2 to 6 hours later, and similar to troponin T, achieves 100% sensitivity between 6 and 12 hours after admission. Thus, the maximal sensitivity of standard troponin assays is not achieved until 6 or more hours after the initiation of myocardial necrosis. Therefore, blood samples for the measurement of troponin levels are recommended to be drawn both at presentation and 6 to 9 hours later to optimize both the clinical sensitivity and specificity for the diagnosis of myocardial infarction. Specificity does not vary significantly over time. The specificity of troponin I is on the order of 83 to 98% with serial testing. Troponin T has specificities ranging from 86% to 98%. High sensitivity cardiac troponin assays. The new 5th generation high sensitivity cardiac troponin T and I assays, which can detect troponin at concentration 10 to 100-fold lower than conventional assays. High sensitivity cardiac troponin assays detect troponin with high sensitivity and precision at an earlier point of time and allow detection and quantification in 50% to ideally 95% of healthy individuals. High sensitivity cardiac troponin facilitates earlier exclusion of acute myocardial infarction, contributing to reduced emergency department length of stay and earlier treatment for acute myocardial infarction, resulting in improved outcomes. There is a risk of misinterpretation of elevated troponin results. Summary of acute myocardial infarction markers. Marker creatine kinase, isoenzyme CKMB, reference range 6 unit per liter. First detectable post-MI 4 to 8 hours. Peak of release post-MI 18 to 24 hours. Sensitivity and specificity 90% and 80%. Lactate dehydrogenase LD1 LD2 ratio. Reference range less than 1. First detectable post-MI 8 to 12 hours. Peak of release post-MI 24 to 72 hours. Sensitivity and specificity 90% each. Myoglobin. Reference range 15 to 120 microgram per liter. First detectable post-MI 2 to 4 hours. Peak of release post-MI 10 to 12 hours. Sensitivity 99%, specificity 70%. Troponin, cardiac troponin I and cardiac troponin T. Reference range less than 0.08 microgram per liter. First detectable 2 to 8 hours. Peak of release 18 to 24 hours post-MI. Sensitivity and specificity 99% is almost 100%. Natriuretic peptides. Natriuretic peptides are series of ring-shaped molecules that promote an increased loss of sodium and water by kidneys. 4 natriuretic peptides occur naturally. arterial natriuretic peptide ANP, B-type natriuretic peptide BNP, C-type natriuretic peptide CNP, D-type natriuretic peptide DNP. They have many amino acid residues in common but are slightly different and have varying properties. Natriuretic peptides. BNP is the only one routinely measured in clinical laboratories. BNP is the dominant natriuretic peptide constantly produced both by atria and ventricles of the heart. It is initially as prohormone called pro-BNP. The pro-BNP is hydrolyzed into two portions, an N-terminal portion called N-terminal pro-BNP, NT-proBNP, and BNP. The rate of pro-BNP is manufactured by cardiac tissue determined by the degree of the tension on the cardiac muscle. An increase in BNP or NT-proBNP will occur when the heart is stretched owing to volume overload, heart failure. Future biomarkers in acute coronary syndrome. Established biomarkers: troponin I, troponin T, brain natriuretic peptide, NT-proBNP, C-reactive protein, CRP. Emerging biomarkers: myeloperoxidase, metalloproteinase, soluble CD40 ligand, ischemia-modified albumin, pregnancy-associated plasma, protein A, cystatin C, fatty acid binding protein, placental growth factor. Thank you very much for listening.